President and CEO of the Adult Congenital Heart Association. And the Adult Congenital Heart Association and the Children's Heart Foundation are wonderful partners, and we share a really profound vision. And that vision is a future where every person born with congenital heart disease lives unaffected by their congenital heart disease and thrives throughout their lifespan. That doesn't mean you get them to 1, or you get them to 10, or you get them to 20, or you get them to 40. We want everybody to thrive all their lives throughout their lives. And we know we have a lot of work to do to make this happen. Probably a lot of you, before you came here today, didn't realize that congenital heart disease is the most common birth defect in the United States. It affects about 1 in 100 babies. I bet a lot of you don't know that congenital heart disease, even though we've made incredible strides in treating it, and even though 9 out of 10 babies born with it we can do a surgery for, it's still the #1 cause of death in infants in this country, way above all those other diseases you hear more about. And the other thing I bet nobody knew before you came here today, or many of you didn't know unless you're living with it, is even with the best surgeries, even with all the treatment, congenital heart disease continues to be a chronic and often, unfortunately, fatal lifelong disease, that all of those children and all of those babies that we're saving, we need to take care of them their whole lives because they have a life ahead of them of managing their condition. And that's just the reality of being born with hearts that just are shaped funny. So it's an incredible honor to be here today. That's what the funding and awareness that you raise today will go to. I know that my colleague from Children's Heart Foundation is going to talk a little about that. So just briefly, what ACHA is really committed to is how can we make sure that everybody gets what they need their whole lives. So one thing we do is we educate people about the doctors they need. And if you go up to our mission table, you'll see lots of materials about how can you think ahead about the kind of care you need. But the other thing we're doing, like Children's Heart Foundation, is we're really working on research, because right now there's virtually no multi-center research in congenital heart disease, and it's incredibly underfunded. We're very excited this year. We have a new thing. We just got this big National Institutes of Health grant to put together a database. So for the first time, centers who treat survivors of congenital heart disease around the country can pull data. Because the challenge of congenital heart disease is there's all these different ways that your heart can be born weird, and each of those are going to need their own research. But we're going to need research to make people thrive throughout their lifespan. So for every step you take today around the lake, and every step you take for that loved one or that person that you know who has congenital heart disease, you're going to be taking a step forward to a longer, better future for all of those of us, myself included, because I'm a congenital heart survivor as well, managing this journey. So thank you so much for being here today. It's really an honor and a privilege.